sing the truth. We know where we belong. It's a new day. 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 Follow your heart. Good things are will flow when flesh and steel are one, drying in the color of the evening sun. Tomorrow's rain will wash the stains away, but something in our minds will always stay. Perhaps this final act was meant to clinch a lifetime argument. Nothing comes from violence, and nothing never could. For all those born beneath an angry star, lest we forget how fragile we are. On and on the rain will fall, like tears from a star, like tears from a star. On and on the rain will say how fragile we are, how fragile we are. On and on the rain will fall, like tears from a star, like tears from a star. On and on the rain will say how fragile we are, how fragile we are. Blood will flow when flesh and steel are one, drying in the colors of the evening sun. Tomorrow's rain will wash the stains away, but something in our minds will always stay. Perhaps this final act was meant to clinch a lifetime's argument, but nothing comes from violence, and nothing ever could. All those born beneath an angry star, lest we forget how fragile we are. On and on the rain will fall, like tears from a star, like tears from a star. On and on the rain will say how fragile we are, how fragile we are. On and on the rain will fall, like tears from a star, like tears from a star. On and on the rain will say how fragile we are, how fragile we are. Fragile, fragile we are. Sing. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Sitting in this place with a smile on my face, knowing you are in my spirit makes my world dance. Where would I be without you? I can't imagine. So glad I took a chance. Mint and lime, oh so sweet. You got my head bopping to a crazy beat. I'm sipping my mojito, trying to let it go. But you know, my heart is just no. My whole universe changed the day I met you. You opened up my soul, you freed my heart, yeah. You gave me courage to make a brand new start. It was no accident me meeting you. Now what should I do? Mint and lime, yeah. Oh so sweet. You got my head bopping to a crazy beat. I'm sipping my mojito, trying to let it go. But you know, my heart says no. Can't let it go. Can't let you go. Can't let it go. My heart it says no. Yeah. Can't let it go. Can't let you go. Can't let it go. My heart it says no. Yeah. All I want is your love, baby. All I want is your love. What have you done to me, sugar? You know you set me free. spin to a crazy beat. I'm sipping my mojito, trying to let it go. But you know, my heart, it says no.
It's been so long since I held you, baby. And here you are, I'm yearning for you now. I ache to touch you, and it's no surprise. I see you smile when you look into my eyes. Hold me, touch me, touch me. Love me, thrill me. Heavenly Father, watching us all. We take from each other and give nothing at all. Well, it's a doggone shame, but never too late for change. Hey, so if your luck runs low, just reach out and call his name. His name. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there whenever you call. Never be lonely, lost in the night. Just run from the darkness, looking for the light. 'Cause it's a long, hard road that leads to a brighter day. Hey, don't let your heart grow cold. Just reach out and call his name. His name. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there whenever you call. I'm gonna be there. You know I'll be there, baby. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there, baby. I'm gonna be there. Oh yeah. I'm gonna be there. You can count on it, brother, 'cause we're all just finding a way. Travis through time. People got to keep pushing on. No matter how many dreams slip away, love will be there. Ooh. Call his name. Call his name, yeah. Hey, well, it's a doggone shame, but never too late for change. Hey, so when your luck runs low, just reach out and call his name. Just call his name. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there whenever you need. I'm gonna be there. Oh, call his name. I'm gonna be there. Hey, I'm gonna be there whenever you call.
Is everybody in Texas?
We're getting ready to go in the air.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome, and yes, glad everybody can be join us today on today's show, and welcome to the Indie Live Spot, and of course we're excited today because we have a great guest, returning guest, Mr. Darryl F. Walk is in the house.
And the party has already started.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Having a great time. But yes, we welcome you back, sir. Glad you
It's good to
came
be
back.
here, Gary. I follow you guys ever since that initial couple of interviews we had a few years back.
Yeah.
And thanks to your audience and to you guys for that award you gave me back then too. I still remember that. That's
Oh
awesome.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're welcome. It's been our pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to work. We're still trying to get to do that again.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully
Hey, I
soon.
know how much work it takes to collate all that information and all that.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. And,
Because you did a poll, didn't you, Gary? And I think many people wanted us to do it again.
yes, absolutely. Yes.
That was really cool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And now you can introduce this gorgeous woman who just sat by your side.
I'm gonna tell you, yeah, but that was offline. I'm gonna tell you right now that this is Dr. LeiLani Vidal Walker. This is my beautiful wife. And when I say beautiful, I mean not just physically, but her soul captured me in such a way that I knew this is the woman that I was meant to be with. All the stuff before was in preparation for her. You know, hard lessons, easy lessons, bad times, good times, all preparation for this one right here.
Aww. Well, see, her inner beauty really shines through when she smiles.
Yes.
I keep her laughing too. That helps.
Yeah.
Hey, man, that's the most important thing, boy. I tell you, you keep the female laughing, boy, it's all over but the shouting.
Do we need to do it right now? We need to- We need a disclaimer on this show that we are not responsible for anything Max said.
No. Papa Smurf, no, we don't endorse those.
That's funny.
Oh.
Darryl, I do have to tell you though, this is the happiest I've ever seen you since I've known you,
Wow.
and it does my heart good. It does my heart good.
You're absolutely right. Absolutely
Like that.
right.
I love hearing that. That's so awesome.
All my friends have been telling her that ever since.
I know. I
the
thought
beginning.
maybe he was putting them up to it, and they
No,
were bringing my friend back. I'm like, what's the deal?
I could see it when he met you and you guys, connected that way. I saw a totally different Darryl. I'm like, wow, what a change. What a change. And it just put such a smile in my heart. And that's what's like, I love this woman because she made him smile like that.
Thank
Yes.
you.
You brought that happiness to his life.
He's very easy to love. So.
Oh yeah, he is. He's a great guy.
Aw, come on, tell the truth. No, I'm kidding.
Let me ask you this
For real,
question.
like, no, I keep like, okay.
I know, right?
I got a question.
Joyce,
I got a question.
Come on back.
I'm kidding.
I
On a
got this
serious
question.
note, I agree with Chris. I agree with Chris. And, having a helpmate like my husband, I do know how wonderful it is to have someone that even when you're hysterical, they have a way of getting a hold of you and calming you down. Because I'm very emotional and I'm sensitive. But my husband has a way of,
Don't say calm down.
Let me
No,
ask
he doesn't. He doesn't say that. He has a very. I think it's because he stays calm
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Well,
and he
let me
doesn't
ask
make you
this
feel
question
bad
to all of y'all.
about being. And okay, Mac, I'm just gonna let you go.
Yeah, let me go.
Just go.
Look,
Now, behave.
when did Darryl come up and ask you, the first question he asked you, he said, "Are you happy, married, or single?" What did you say to him?
When he asked me that,
Yeah, he asked you, was you happy, married,
I
or
was
single?
single because he was already trolling me on Facebook.
He was so,
Right?
the next question, did he ask you, were you jealous, or was he jealous?
Okay, this is supposed to be about
Hold on. That's fine now.
and you trying to whip up some mess. Come on. Now.
He's trying to put them on the dating game
He
or
just
something.
said, I'm happily married. I'm happy.
That's
it up.
Now, then he said, well, you asked him or he asked you?
He kind of tricked me.
He
He was tricking me. Yeah.
Can I answer the question, man?
Did he ask you,
He's like,
were you
hey, can
jealous?
you test drive your car? And I'm like, okay. Extended work. Maybe he just wants to drive my car, I guess, but that's kind of how he, came in real slick.
If he'd asked you, were you jealous or something like that, he'd probably looked at you and pull out his phone. Well,
Right.
you get them digits. If you ain't jealous, I'm not, You know
In
what I mean?
honor of DMX, You gonna make me lose my mind.
He probably said, "Oh, you've been running through my mind all day."
Henry says, "Is this a psychological profile session, Ray?"
Yeah, because Henry.
Henry,
But you know, I have to get it in.
Henry, it's more like them being nosy session.
Oh no.
Oh, it's funny. It's funny.
There you
No,
go.
you know, we came together. We had a meeting of the minds early on, and we both. She laid out what her expectations were and what she didn't want in her life, and I did the same. We agreed, and we just lived by that.
Well, that's the only way to do it, though.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way to do it. And saying, I know, well, if you got in a, kind of in an argument, squabbling or whatever the case may be, you should never go to bed mad.
No, you can't do that.
You can't do that.
There was like,
But,
We have a good way of communicating. We really do. I like to listen to what she has to say. Her feelings matter to me, and the things that are important to her matter to me, because that just means there's harmony, And it also means I can support in a different way, not just the typical ways. I could actually say, well, how are you feeling today? What happened? Tell me what happened at the office, or why are you upset? Or how can we fix this? Do you want me to offer a solution, or you just want me to listen? You want to vent? Whatever. You can do both. So.
well, there's a lot of venting.
I just have to say this, Darryl. I love your saxophone, but your voice, your singing voice is amazing.
Oh,
Like,
I think you got LeiLani with that voice. That's what I think. Right?
those smooth tones. And he
Yes.
does this and he does this little Al Green kind of screaming in there, just real toned down. I'm like, oh yeah, baby.
Mm-hmm. That's when you go, oh, sookie, sookie. So I mean, you're just, and I have to admit, when I saw you social media, and I saw a picture, and I'm like, is that Tom Braxton? I think you had the hat on, and I went, that's not Tom. Who is it? And that's how I noticed you first, because I thought, because Tom Braxton lives in the area where I live, in the Dallas area, and I'm like, wow, that could be his brother, or his cousin, or something, because they kind of look alike.
Right.
It's
true.
He's amazing.
See, she can see it too.
I hear you.
You don't hey, I have a saying about that. I don't know if it's cool to say it on the air, so I will wait till we're off the air.
I gotta say, that whole thing of singing, it's something I took for granted as a kid. I didn't realize that it wasn't something that everybody could do. But at the same time, once I matured, into an actual artist and whatever, I really value that gift, because I benefit from it just as much as the person who approaches me after the show and says, "Oh my God, oh blah 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 blah," whatever they say. The exchange during the performance is what I really live for, because you feel it immediately. Mm-hmm. If you're coming from here and you're putting it out with everything you have, and you leave it all on the stage, that's when you really get the feedback. And it's not always verbal. Mm-hmm. You could see someone crying, or laughing, or dancing, or whatever expression means they use. You can see it's affecting them in one way or another. And to me, that's everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So when did you start in music, and how did you get started, and who influenced you to get started in music?
Well, we don't have enough time to talk about all that. No, but seriously.
The condensed version.
At 2 years old, I started singing. According to my family, obviously, I don't have a memory that reaches that far back, but my mom used to play a station in California, in LA at the time, back then, without saying when it was. KKGO was a radio station, and there was this guy, it was this really deep baritone voice by the name of Chuck Niles. He was legendary. Everybody across the nation knew who he was. And he played bebop, He played straight ahead. He played all the forms of jazz that were popular in the 60s, 70s, and even from before. But I would hear these songs like Alfie, Sophisticated Lady, that kind of stuff, and I would try to sing those songs, and I was singing those songs as a kid. And my mom would be the one who would call my grandmother, "You're not going to believe this, you're not going to believe this." Hold the phone up. Now, I do remember her doing that. Anything else, I don't have much of a memory of. But it started back then. Fast forward to junior high school, picked up the saxophone just because I thought it was something cool. I didn't have any inclination of being a musician at the time, and grew to love it. And I fell into that and pretty much dismissed the singing thing because nobody knew I could. And then I just kept it to myself and just played, so I was doing show and playing. And then this opportunity came to do a showcase at my school, at my high school, right before I went into the military. And I went up there and I sang like 5 songs that I really liked. And I was just floored because the reaction from the people in the audience, they were like this. And I never saw that before. I mean, when they were like, heads turned sideways and everything, they didn't know I could do that. See, it's something I just thought, well, everybody sings. But I just put it out there.
Well, the shock is that not only you sing, but you sing very well.
Thank you. I credit my mom is a big influencer when it comes to that. She had an incredible angelic voice, and I used to love to sing with her or just to hear her. And she did a record with Phil Spector back in the day, and she never went into this. She wanted to raise children. She didn't have any designs on being a musician. She told me, nah. Once I got a taste of that, I was like, that's not for me. And she left it at that. So she would just sing around the house while she's doing whatever she's doing or at work. But it just became a thing that I identified with spiritually, and it fed me that way. So I kept doing it and kept doing it. And then I started landing record deals and wound up on Taboo and then Motown and Polygram distribution, all that's cool stuff. But I got away from that because the business side of it started to put a bad taste in my mouth, being taken advantage of by labels, publishing, stolen from you and all that. So I figured, well, I have a natural love for this, so I'm going to keep doing that. So the live performance aspect started to become more important to me than recording. So for 10 years, I didn't record a thing. I refused to sign any contracts. I didn't do any recording dates. For other people, yes, but for myself as an artist, no, because I needed to learn more about contracts, about publishing, about sync licensing, about all those important other avenues to make money, so that I can well represent myself.
That's very fun.
Let me ask you
very
this,
smart.
Daryl. When you was in the military, you didn't play in a military band or anything of that nature? No,
I went into electronics, but I did ask my mother to ship my horn over to me. So she sent me this tore up, this poor beaten up, trodden down instrument. I had a Bundy 2, and it was probably the worst of all the student instruments I ever touched. But at the same time, I'm glad that blessing came to me because that bad instrument made it possible to play well on a high quality one. All these years later, endorsing Yamaha, I'm able to play silver plated tenors, whatever it is I want. But that you can't get that without going through the other.
Right.
You have to start there. And I tell people all the time, I have a good friend, Michael Doyle, an incredible saxophonist on the East Coast. We talk about this all the time. He's always mentoring people and telling them, don't focus on the equipment. It doesn't matter if you go out and buy a $10,000 horn if you can't play it.
Exactly.
You learn basics first. So get the crappy instrument, sound good on the crappy instrument. It's going to make you're going to have to work to get a good sound out of a bad instrument. But play that until you're ready to move on to the next thing. Because if I go buy this big old thing, I'm going to sound better. No, you're going to sound like a beginner playing an instrument.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Exactly.
think too with Darryl, just from the outside knowing, where he's at with everything, I think what really helps is that one thing, he's got perfect pitch, which I don't even think he realizes it, but it's like he's head on all the time. And I think being a saxophone player and a vocalist, like his playing is just so melodic. It sounds like a singer would sing it, but he's on the saxophone doing it. So those are the observations that I can see that just make him so amazing with it.
Oh, thank you, sweetie.
Well,
It's true though. No, she's right. My approach to playing saxophone is directly from a singer's point of view. It's not from a saxophone player's point of view, because what we tend to do as saxophone player or any instrumentalist, you tend to focus on the sheet and what's in front of you, and it takes a whole different level of understanding and talent actually to take that form, that ink as they call it, and turn it into something that's going to inspire someone to want to listen.
Right.
So I figured, well, I don't want to sound sterile all the time. I don't want to just play what's there. I want to honor what's there and play the form, but at the same time I want to interject in it in a way where my art comes through. So how would I approach this as a singer? Okay, I would do this. Okay, on that arpeggio, I wouldn't just go up and down like a da 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 da. I would put some bends and some some sauce. I like to call it sauce.
Exactly.
Now, let me ask you this: when you was in the military, you done the electronics, but did you ever go out and perform with other people that you was in the military with, that singing, playing instruments and things like that?
I heard of a few, but they were so far from where I was that it didn't make any sense to even try that, because I was in a unit that was a nuclear. We had atomic weapons and whatever, and it didn't play out that way for me. But what I did do, since I couldn't be in a band, I went out and bought top of the line gear that you could buy at that time. I had a Nakamichi turntable, TAC 10.5-inch reel.
TAC. I know what you're talking about.
Black face. It had the Nakamichi dual cassette auto reverse decks. I had equalizers and all. Man, I had a nightclub in my house. Okay, I literally had Klipsch speakers. I had the best of everything. And so I would
lights.
Huh?
Blue lights.
I just laid it out. My friend was like, "Man, dude, you spent a lot of money on." I said, "No, you don't understand. This is a training ground." So I would put on all my favorite artists like Jeff Lorber, Grover Washington, all these different artists that were really heavy into the movement of starting that whole smooth jazz thing, which at the time was called the Quiet Storm.
Quiet Storm.
And don't forget Ronnie Laws.
Oh, of course. I know his sister. She came on my show and blew it up.
Yeah.
What was that? I can't remember the guy's name. He was out of D.C. And he started that corner, the Quiet Storm.
A DJ?
Yeah, he was a DJ out of D.C.
I think I know who you're talking about. I can't recall his name. Yeah. It stuck for a little while.
Yeah, it's tough.
But that's what I did. I just brought that into the room, took that horn out, and I stayed in there. Whenever I wasn't required to be working, I was in there playing.
Now, you was in the Air Force, wasn't you?
In the Army.
Army? Oh, no. Well, thank you for your service, because I was too.
Thank you very kindly for yours.
Yeah. But yeah, I understand where you're coming from, because I thought you might have been in the military band, besides your regular gig.
I wish I had, because I would have made a career out of it.
Yeah.
And we're trying to, actually, we want to try to influence LeiLani's oldest son to do that, because he's about to graduate, and we want to try to inspire him to get into, he's a multi-instrumentalist, so he would be great in a Navy band, upright bass, guitar, drum. He's a great drummer.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Oh, we use him on our tracks sometimes. He was in videos we made. I don't know if you guys saw it. It was called "Our Love Is Here to Stay."
Yeah.
He's playing the drums, and then her youngest is playing the upright.
Okay.
Oh, now that'll work.
That.
See, that's great.
I love that. I try to get my kids to do music, but even though my son was good in saxophone and piano, when he graduated, he said, "I don't want to do it anymore."
Wow.
I said, "That's fine. I'm not going to force you," but I told them they had to learn to play piano when they were kids, I said it's like math and science. In this house, you will learn piano. Now, when you're 18, you decide what you want to do with it. But they have no regrets that they learn how to play an instrument. And actually, my son really is gifted, but he doesn't have the discipline to stay with it. You know, because he won competitions and everything, and now he's like, I'm done. I don't want to do it anymore. And I can't make him do it because this business is so difficult. Unless you have a passion, you're gonna quit in 1 month.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I used to tell people, you know, for a very brief time I taught, and I did it just for people I knew. I was never in a music store or anything like that. I had beginners, and I like them because they usually have an open mind. But there was this one kid who just, I want to play songs. I want to play. Okay, we'll get to that. But he just would not practice. He wouldn't work on anything. I just told his mother, look, you know, he really doesn't want to do this. Oh no, but he told me, and I want him to. I'm paying. Well, let me tell you, that's why I suggested a rental instrument so you could get out of it and put it back on the shelf and walk away.
Yeah,
exactly.
He has the talent for it. He doesn't have the passion for it. He really is not interested. You should find something that he really wants to do, or else, quite frankly, he's going to start to resent you.
Yeah, that's true. You're right about that.
I got an 11-year-old granddaughter. I bought a little keyboard, you know, and took it to her. And she done already learned how to play it. So my next step is just take her to the store and have her give her some, you know, more lessons on the piano. Because she's enjoying it. She likes it.
Yeah.
That's a whole different ball of wax.
She likes it.
Yeah.
Sure is.
Yeah.
When the parent is forcing it, it's never going to take root.
No.
Well, I was a little forceful, but it worked. It worked. They you know, it took a minute, but I had to find very creative ways to convince them to do it. But what about your training? Did you take private lessons? How did you learn how to sing? Well, I know you're talking about a 2-year-old, but did you take any lessons? Did you study anywhere? This is all natural gift from God. Huh?
Natural gift from God and tutelage from my mom, you know, just. but as far as the horn, I didn't start that until late. You know, I was 14 when I picked up sax.
Okay.
And I had a year's worth of instruction that my parents could afford at the time with a guy, Gary Bell, I think his name was, an LA jazz guy. And out of all the things he taught me in that year, the one thing that stands out the most is he just taught me about tone. He wouldn't even let me touch the horn until I could make a really pleasant tone with just the mouthpiece. And that took about a month.
You know, that's good, because with my son, we because people used to tell him, oh, your mom plays sax, that's why you're good. But I had to tell him I only spent one time with him. It was about 30-45 minutes, and how to choose your reeds, how to check your reeds and tone from the ligature to the mouthpiece, everything. And I think I created a monster, because he was always coming to Mom, this reed is not good. I need because he started growing up and he needs a size 4 reed, size 5, and I mean, I had to find tougher reeds for him as when he was in high school, because he would wear them out quickly. He said it's too soft. And then I think I went to synthetic reeds, and that helped him out a lot. Well, I've never went past the 3.5. I don't care what it is.
No.
But he started playing, and one of the things that his instructor said, you know, for your age, you have a really great tone. But I only did that one time, and then he was on his own. I think I don't want my mom to help me. You know how it is, kids.
Yeah, they
help me.
I don't know why they think we don't know anything.
Right.
I don't know. But this guy impacted me that way, because I got a true appreciation for learning how to make it sound good. He said, I play bebop all the time. He said, and what difference does it make? If you can't play notes that people want to hear, if they don't sound good, then what difference does it make? You know, all the scales in the world. He said, you have to have a pleasant tone that attracts the ear to it. So you keep working on that, and then once I'm satisfied with how you sound on that, then we'll touch the horn. And so I went home and drove everybody crazy.
Well, but look at you now. Your amazing tone. When I was in, because I didn't have any lessons till I was in college, and I remember the jazz professor said, "Oh, it's great. You guys can play 30-second notes and play fast." But he said, the way he determines a true musician is how they sound when they're playing whole notes.
Mm-hmm.
And when he said that, I went, "Oh, so I can play as fast and be, as technical as I want to, but when it slows down, and even to this day, I will slow it down and just play half whole notes and listen, and then record it and listen and see if I've gone too far off the edge, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And am I paying attention to how pleasant my tone is, even after years. But I was like you, I stopped for 20 years. Like your mom, I didn't want to put up with some of the stuff that was involved in the business. But when becoming an independent became a thing, I said, well, maybe I can just do it on my own. Which leads to my next question. You said you've been signed. Are you independent now? And if you are, which one did you like best, being signed or being independent?
That's a good question. Being signed is good in some ways and bad in others. It all depends on what your purpose is. If it is to be an artist, so to speak, and to sell records or whatever, then before you sign, it's a good thing to have an attorney go over your agreement and ensure that it has protections in it for you. You're not going to get the best deal as your first deal. It's just the way it works. But you don't want to get such a bad deal that everything you put out goes to whatever entity is providing you the exposure or the opportunity. So it's real important to know the business side. You want to make sure that you don't give away your publishing. And if you have to, then don't give it all away, give some of it away.
Right. Mm-hmm.
What I also tell people is, if you're going to sign, don't give your best music away. Give quality material for the project, but if there's some gems that you have that you really want to get out, don't do it until you're ready to do it on your own terms with the right agreement. Because if you give away your best material first, capitalize on it, and you're going to be left in the dark, holding an empty bag, So just be wise about how you do it. But as an independent now, I am signed to Polyphemus Records of the UK, but we have a very loose agreement. It's very fair on both ends. Dr. Glenn Reese is an easy guy to deal with.
Oh yeah,
And,
I know him.
He's a old tried and true B3 road warrior. Playing the B3, and he's a meteorologist, not a meteorologist. Oh goodness, what's that other geologist? He's a geologist.
Okay.
He's a good person, and I've done a lot with him over the years. I've done other projects with artists that he recommended, like Roberto Tola of Italy. I did some songs with him. There's other collaborations that are in the works that are coming up, but it has to suit your purpose. So just going out there for the sake of being signed, that's a blind pursuit. You really have to know why it is you want to be signed and what your end result should be. If it's just to be in a family on a record label, okay, but there's expectations that go with that. They're going to want to make money with you.
That's right. Yeah, you're definitely right about that.
If you have something that's marketable, will that satisfy your artistic side, your commercial side, or whatever? As long as you know why you're doing it and you go into it with open eyes, then okay, sure, go for the record deal. But I think having control of your material and your career is far more appealing than being signed to a label where you have an A&R person telling you what to record, what not to record, how to do this, how to do that, what song's good, what song's not good. A lot of these people don't really understand music. They understand the music business.
So that's the whole thing there, I have stressed that a lot. The artists themselves need to know the business.
That's right.
So they won't get screwed in the business.
That's right.
If you sign with the label. But if you, and the main thing, like Darryl was saying, keep your best. Build your catalog. And go for it.
release some great stuff. You know, you're gonna give up, when you sign your first deal, you're going to give up a lot of publishing, maybe all of it. But make sure that you at least get points on sales. You know, for every unit sold, you get points so that you make some money. Make sure that when you do live performances, that they're not taking all of that.
Right.
These days, when you're doing these poor kids, you know, on these reality shows, I'm not going to mention them by name, but if you look at their contracts, they're doing these things called 360 deals. Mm-hmm. And 360 deals are a really bad thing to sign because they give everything, all power, all autonomy to the label or the label.
Yeah.
That means they have your likeness, they have your anything you write, your intellectual property, they have your merchandising, they have even your live performance pay. They can take a percentage, if not all of that. So anything they release with you on it, they own all that too. You don't get that.
Yeah, it's not a good deal.
You have to be very careful. Pardon?
I'm sorry, I just have a question from the chat room. Sam Hankins.
Mm-hmm.
He says that who's playing flugelhorn on your track Hold On? And he wants to know if it was Greg Adams.
Absolutely was Greg Adams. Greg Adams played the flugelhorn on Hold Me, yes. Mm-hmm.
The amazing Greg Adams. G, did you have a question or did you want to get to
Yeah, I did have a question to Darryl. So Darryl, the lady sitting right next to you, she's definitely got a history as well with her music test. LeiLani, I'm sorry. Could you tell us a little bit about some of your background as well? Because I noticed I've seen some of you some videos with you and Darryl both working together, and I can tell that you definitely have a strong background as well.
Yeah, well, I've been playing since I was a kid too. You know, with just like you, Joyce. You know, my parents had it was mandatory. We all played piano. You know, and then we started in their family band, and that's what I did my whole life until I left for college. So I played gigs every weekend playing. I started with flute, and then my dad said, "Here, you're playing the saxophone." Brought home the saxophone, and you're playing it. You're doing this. So I took that on and played it all the way till I went to college. And then once I got to college, I'm like, I'm not touching music anymore. My parents forced me. You know, it was all three of us girls. We were all musicians, and we had to play in our family band. So it was interesting when I got to college, I started picking up my saxophone again and actually playing in an all-female band up in Long Beach. And loving it that way because I wasn't so structured with reading music. Like my dad had us just these reading monsters. Like that's what we did. We were so good at reading music, but not improvising at all. So part of that group was like, oh, I can just stand up here with no music and just play whatever. I probably sounded terrible, but that's what I started doing. And it wasn't until I got back from college and started having my own kids and seeing how I wanted to inspire them in music that I started picking up my horn again and playing. And so a few years, maybe about 6 years ago or so, I put together this all-female quartet called the Saxations. But at first it was me and three guys. And you know what? We weren't getting anywhere. Nobody cared. Nobody was interested. It was so lame. So I found some awesome females that, you know, could play. Not like you, Joyce, but we all played. And then the group evolved, and we got Tomoka, who is just amazing. And we got April Leslie, and then Allison Bowles has been with me from the very beginning. And you know, it was just something. It was so fun. We took off. We love each other. The camaraderie is there, and it just gave us a really great avenue to be creative as women, be out there with. We all love saxophone. We all have different backgrounds, but you know, that's really how I met Darryl too. Because we were on a radio show doing an interview, and he walks in as the second person being interviewed. I'm like, who's that?
So who's trolling who?
As the old folks say, you smitten.
Yeah. He wasn't. He was whatever, dealing with whatever. But it wasn't until a year and a half later that he finally asked me out. So I always kind of have to.
It took you that long?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's kind of slow, but you know, whatever.
I don't think there's nothing wrong with being slow.
Now what I was dealing with.
What was that? Say it again.
She knows now what I was dealing with.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. So it took him a while to come around. So when he did finally reach out and want to test drive my car, I'm like, oh, okay, it's that guy, the radio thing. But I would never have gotten there if it weren't for, you know, being part of the Saxations, picking up the saxophone again, and just loving it. It's definitely a passion for sure. It's not my profession. I leave that up to him, but it's definitely something that's been in me since I was a kid. And even with my parents forcing me, still, I can't get away from it. I encourage my kids. They're just amazing musicians, and I love playing with them and seeing them prosper with it.
Well, they gave you a choice.
Yeah.
You didn't have to. It's like my kids. I told them, I'm not going to make you do anything when you're 18. It's your decision.
Right.
But now you have something. And I told my son, I said, you can always come back to this. Because your mom left it for 20 years and came back. You can always come back to it.
Right.
So what I have given you is something nobody can take away. You know?
That's right. Sound like you too, Joyce, because I walked away from it too. And I regret that I did. Because if I would have just kept going with it and developed it, I don't know.
You do think about that. If I had kept going and just ate bread and water, if you know what I mean, just, make all the sacrifices, where would I be? But when I'm a little bit older, and when I graduated from college, I was like, oh, nobody wanted a female saxophone player.
Right. And I think I saw you on Facebook in 2013, and that's when I was just kind of getting the saxations together and stuff. And I saw you on Facebook. I'm like, oh my God, this lady is amazing. I heard you playing flute. Very inspiring. So thank you so much for accepting me as a friend back then.
Oh,
and watching your career go through.
I love ladies who play saxophone. I'm always reaching out and always checking it out, because even though there are more of us now, it's still not enough. It's still, with all due respect, all the festivals, everything is male dominated. And women are, and I'm amazed, because I have a saxophones group, and a friend of mine, she created a saxophone group for women. I think you know about that one, right? I think. And every now and then I see some amazing female saxophone players that nobody knows about.
Yeah.
So we're coming up, and I'm talking both classical and jazz, and I just hear from other countries that women are doing some amazing things, and I'm happy to see that. So when I'm a little partial to women, and I mean that respectfully. So when I see a woman in the group, I'm pressing play right away. I want to support. I want to support, because I know the challenges that we have, not here in the United States, but all over the world.
Right.
Well, I had him on my stage.
What did you say? Not on my stage.
I said I had him on my stage.
Oh, what? You know what?
Yep.
I know you're not like that, based on the comments you made. Because, I had saxophone promo with me holding up the sax with a big fro. And sometimes I remember, men, one guy, he didn't say it to me, he said it to another guy. He didn't like the way I played, because I played too hard and I didn't play like a lady.
Yeah, it's so crazy. It's so crazy.
What the hell does that mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. But when you described earlier, when you're playing your sax, you're expressing you're expressing your heart. So if I growl and if I double tongue, if I do those things, I'm really expressing myself. My whole life has not been smooth, so all my playing won't be. I'm just
You
saying.
draw from experiences, and those memories and experiences, they affect what you're doing emotionally in a song. They just do. It comes out.
It just comes out.
Yeah.
You're not trying to be I'm not trying to be something that I'm not. I'm not trying to play like a lady. I'm just trying to play what's in my heart.
Was that person a musician?
That was a musician who said that.
Very short.
We go through some stuff as female.
It's so great. It's like they're so quick to judge the women, and if you're a miniskirt, oh, she's just doing this, blah, blah, blah. It's so unfair.
Don't let us miss a note. Oh, she can't play.
Yeah.
But the guys will miss notes, and it's okay.
Yeah.
They're out of character. But, so the pressure, and I tell my husband, so you don't understand the pressure I'm under, that my music has to be great, because I'm a woman, and I feel like people are looking for something wrong. Because of what I've gone through. I mean, I'm speaking even in my college days, when my college, the director of the top jazz band didn't allow me to be in it because he didn't want any women in it.
Wow.
Now, I can tell you some stories.
You didn't
Oh my
need
God,
to see.
wow.
But it's not my show.
God telling you weren't supposed to be in that situation.
Well, I still managed to get through it because I was working on a music degree at that time. So I had to fight through. And so that's why sometimes I tell people, even when we're working with Gary, we have the saxophone, he produced it, I co-produced. I said, Gary, I'm just gonna let you know I'm a little sensitive. Okay, is this okay? Is this, is this all right? He found out. He found out. And I think it's because I'll just call it trauma. Like Max said, he has PTSD from the military. I think that we all have some type of PTSD, and that's why we react a certain way. We're not trying to be difficult. We just know from our past, and we're under different pressure. It's just like when you grow up in the Black community, they tell you, you have to be twice as good.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
you know. So I feel like that even, because all I want to do is relax and play. I don't want to compete. I'm not trying to compete with anybody. I just want to play and have fun and give people an outlet.
If you don't keep that in mind, it's all a waste of time.
Yeah.
That's it.
Exactly.
I advocate for there being no ego in what I do. I surround myself with incredibly talented people, which then propel me forward, and they inspire me to do the best thing I can do.
Right.
And the main focus is who's out there giving of their resources and time, because they could be anywhere else. They don't have to be where they are.
Preach.
They chose to be there. So therefore, I'm going to do everything I can to lay it out so that we get those comments. Oh my God, that show with that band. I want to leave them saying things like that, because it just means we did what we came there to do.
Right.
You've done your job. You've done your job.
And I like how you said you make sure you're surrounded by good people who can help you foster that.
Reliable, courteous, polite, classy, and professional. Those are the requirements. I don't want to have anybody it's all about me. Listen to me. The guitar amp starts going up louder and louder and louder and louder. Or the drums start getting harder and harder and harder. That all that.
I've done that. That's why I'm laughing so much.
Boy, I'd have turned around. Boy, look here. And took them right off the stage.
I am a singer. I'm not going to try to sing over any nonsense. I cannot compete with electronics. Exactly. It's simple as that. This is a natural thing. I can't put this in a case at the end of the day and leave it till tomorrow. If I damage it tonight, it's going to be damaged tomorrow, and maybe the next day, and then in the future, I won't have it. So,
and you don't want to play hard on your horn either, because if you're having to play hard or loud, then you don't have any room for dynamics. And I'm like, I'm blowing I can tell I'm blowing too hard because I'm trying to hear what I'm saying. And I just don't like that. I like the space around me.
It's incorrect. It's incorrect.
Yeah.
The tenets of great musical performance are dynamics. If you don't go on a journey, you don't have peaks and valleys, then what's it all for? It's just a wall of stuff. With me, when I play, I have to, here's my setup. I use Van Doren T77 with a high cut, a D8. Okay, I use an 8 facing, which is pretty wide opening. And soft reed, I play nothing higher than a 2.5. Nothing. And there's a reason for that. Well, a couple of reasons. One, the best tone comes from those softer reeds. 2, I can play as long as I want with a softer reed. And I get the tone of the horn. I get the quality of the pitch. It's easier to control. My embouchure doesn't get all worn out. And I have longevity. It's just more pleasant to the ear to do that. So that's why I choose that. I know people always say, how come Bill do 3.5, 3, 4? Why? I don't need to blast. I don't need to wear myself out so 4 songs later I can't play anymore. I want to play all night, or whatever the situation calls for. But I want it to sound good. So I don't have 50 mouthpieces. I'm not always changing ligatures and mouthpieces. Oh, what's the new? I have my sound and my gear, and that's what I use. I stick to it.
Hey, if it works, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's what I say.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's get into some music.
Yes.
We're going to play a track?
Yeah.
We're probably overdue.
Oh, yeah, it's after 3 o'clock, so yeah, we're overdue.
We're overdue. Sorry.
Yeah, Joy, stop talking.
No, that was Matt. Matt, you couldn't even finish your sentence and he's jumping in. I just had to sit back and let him have it. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna let him have it.
Oh,
Ain't me.
wow.
Yes, it is you. Chris was just giving you a break, but anyway. All right, music time.
All right, G, it's all you.
Okay, well, okay, we'll go ahead and play some music. In fact, Darryl, you actually sent us a couple of nice covers that I was able to hear that I'd like to go ahead and play. And then there was another track I wanted to ask you about, the one that's called "Need You in My Life" also. But anyway, would you like to elaborate a little bit, talk a little bit about that?
You need in my life?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That has various versions, but that came about as a collaboration with Paris Yvette of the UK, a well-known DJ who also is a classically trained piano player and saxophonist.
Okay.
Yeah, she came to me and said, I have an idea for a song. What would you like to collaborate? I said, sure. So she sent the track over, and right away, I've never done any dance music. You know, it's not my thing. But I thought, well, I'm not going to limit this experience. I'm just going to go for it. And so I sat down and listened to it, and the words came. You know, she sent lyrics, I sent lyrics, back and forth. And then before we knew it, we had a great tune. And I went and laid it down, you know, did the vocal performance and sent it over to her. And she did her thing. And then she gave it to Luis Rivera. If you're not familiar with Luis Rivera, Luis is the guy who did all of the mixing and engineering, I should say mastering and mixing for CNC Music Factory.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's really good at identifying, you know, that dance thing and the kind of vibe that needs to have. And he put that into all of that. And what you got is Need You in My Life.
Okay, yeah, because that's all, when I first heard it, I was like, this is something different from what I'm used to hearing from Mr. Darryl. So it's kind of cool. And then of course the two covers that was really done so tastefully nice. Let's see, what was it? Oh yeah, When a Man Loves a Woman.
Oh, thank
Yesterday.
And Yesterday, yes.
Yesterday.
you. This one right here. You know what you should do? You should do. I go, tell me. I can't think of everything. Tell me. What do you hear me doing? And she comes up with it, and I go, oh yeah, let's do that. There it goes.
Nice.
Thank you, LeiLani.
And I have to say, you know, in looking at my performances over the last 10 years, there's a certain flavor and a certain inspirational quality that's been coming out that comes from her. And it's making the performances even more impactful and emotional because my spirit is free and I'm happy for the first time in a long time.
She'll put an emphasis on that. What she do to you?
Let's go hear some music.
Yeah.
That's a
Please
good
don't
segue.
answer. Some music.
Okay, well let's get the music on and then we'll come right back. Okay.
Yes, please. Save us, G. Save
Okay.
us.
All
Save
right.
us.
Keep it locked. We'll be right back.
We'll wash the stains away.
trade the world for the good thing he's found. If she is bad, he can't see it. She can do no wrong. He turned his back on his best friend if he puts her down. When a man loves a woman, spend his very last dime trying to hold on to what he needs. He give up all his comforts and sleep out in the rain. If she said that's the way it ought to be. When a man loves a woman, I'd give you everything I've got. Trying to hold on to your precious love. And baby, please don't treat me bad. When a man loves a woman, deep down in his soul, she can bring him such misery. If she is playing for the fool, he's the last one to know. Loving eyes can never see. When a man loves a woman, I know exactly how it feels. 'Cause baby, when a man, when a man, when a man loves a woman, yeah. Yes, he does when he does. Yes, he does. Woo! When a man loves a woman. Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. Now it looks as though they're here to stay. Oh, I believe in yesterday. Suddenly, I'm not half the man I used to be. There's a shadow hanging over me. Oh, yesterday came suddenly. Why she had to go, I don't know. She wouldn't say. Oh, I said something wrong. Now I Why she had to go, I don't know. She wouldn't say no. I said something wrong. Now I long for yesterday. Love is such an easy game to play. Now I need a place to hide away. Oh, I believe in yesterday.
I'll be right back.
Wait, we're going on the air.
Well, you're not gonna show me no.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and wow, that was some awesome music from our guest, Darryl.
Thank you
That
so
was
much.
really nice. Yes, indeed.
Oh,
And,
and oh. It's so nice that you guys know what I mean when I say that. I said that one time. What do you mean it all? Clearly, you don't have a college education. It's a sophisticated way of saying everyone.
Right. LeiLani's like,
She just shaking her head. She just said that shaking her head.
Henry said in the chat room, he goes, love the transition and modulation of full of feeling, Darryl. When he was listening to When a Man Loves a Woman.
Thank you so much. Oh, I was just talking about her.
we could tell.
She's like,
You gotta steal it.
We could tell. Well, let me ask you something. When you sing that on stage, did you pull her up on the stage and sing it to her?
I've yet
Never
to
performed it.
perform that live. I think I'm gonna do it soon.
well, now that you've been sold out, guess what?
I might have to
Yeah,
make it
I
on the set
think
list.
he's got to put yesterday on the set list for sure.
Definitely.
That's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah,
what-
yesterday was nice.
classic Beatles song. Yep.
There's more Beatles songs in the works.
Oh, yay. Yay. Yay.
We love the way the Beatles did it, but I don't know. I love the way you did it, and what's her name? She did a years ago. Stephanie Mills.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
She
Yeah.
did.
Wow.
Yes. So I'm loving these covers. You and Stephanie Mills. I'm like, y'all bring a new energy to the song.
Well, you know, it's funny that you mentioned that. I'm one of these people. I'm not a purist when it comes to you need to write your own song. That to me, that's too rooted in egocentric thinking. Music is music, and if I can interpret something that someone else did and add my take on it without dishonoring it, I'm going to do that. And I learned from Luther Vandross quoting, in one of his concerts, he quoted, when you do, I think it was I forget which it was the one at Wembley Arena. He did some outtakes, and stuff where he talked candidly, and he said, whatever you do it to the best of your ability. Take a cover song and make it your own. And that's what I try to do. I love so much music that it's like, man, if I'm in the car humming something, then that's worthy of being recorded.
Yeah, no doubt.
I agree.
much that I'm gonna sing it when I even realize I'm singing it, then it's something I would visit. You know, but it's more of a matter of just taking something and putting some emotion into it that maybe just is my own interpretation. This is how I'm feeling about this, and I just try it, and if I like it, I release it. It's like, okay, this is good. You know,
I like that.
Absolutely.
And sometimes you find music that's not popular. Because I did a cover of AC/DC by Billy Cobham. Nobody knows that song, but I heard it. I loved it. I introduced it to my band. I said, let's do this. And then I recorded it. And it's on one of my jazz albums. But I love it. Sometimes you do something, like you said, it speaks to you. And when I'm on stage, it's because I like fusion. And it's, you know, he's known for that. And I like things that are like out of the box.
sure.
I like to be in the box and out the box. Well, let's just say I don't like a box at all. I just like the freedom.
So, Darryl, what other Beatles songs are you considering?
We just finished one.
What did we just do?
Let
We
It
were
Be.
doing so much. Let It Be.
Let It Be. Oh, thank you. That's one of my favorites. I love that. Because
I play a sax solo in it too. That's gonna be nice to get that. I'm in the stages of EQing and adding compression and some effects to it, but other than that, it's getting close.
Yay.
because I mean, I love the original, obviously, because I mean, I love the Beatles because I grew up with them. You know, when they came out in force to America.
Yeah.
There's a version that I heard a few years ago that I just fell in love with because they did it their own, you know, the arrangement for 3 tenors, and they're called Gentry, and it's just them with the piano.
Wow.
The guy that arranges is a genius, I swear. Look them up on YouTube, Gentry, and then you'll see their playlist and watch and look for Let It Be. Oh my gosh, it just amazing. Amazing arrangement. And they also have an arrangement of a song. I like Bruno Mars and I like his music, but this one song I just couldn't get past the just the way you are, the way he did it, because it was just too fast and I couldn't get past the rhythm to listen to the lyrics. But when they did it, it was just those 3 voices with the piano, and that's the first time I actually heard the song.
They were all in
It
harmony.
made me
Is that
cry.
how they're doing it?
I'm sorry?
They're doing it in harmony, like 3 parts.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes. Wait
Yeah.
till you hear it. I was just like blown away.
I just did that the other night. I had to sing a bunch of harmonies.
And I can't wait to hear your version of Let It Be. I'm like,
Oh,
yes.
thank you. We had fun with it. You know, it's one of those songs where it had an inspirational thing.
Mhm.
And, so we put some B3 on it, and we put suitcase piano on it, and
Suitcase piano.
yeah, that's what they call it.
I like that.
It's in a suitcase.
Aretha Franklin version, and then
Yeah.
he took it and just changed the sound.
Wow.
And stuff,
I
so.
can't wait.
You haven't seen a Fender Rhodes suitcase piano?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh, okay.
That's going way back, though.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Those vintage sounds you can't.
Now, one thing we didn't talk about a little bit was about your affiliation with East Bay Soul.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's still going on too, right?
Oh, absolutely. So to give you a quick synopsis of that, you know, I was coming to the end of what I determined to be the end of my aerospace days, and I got this call, and the guy on the other end, it was Greg at the time, I didn't know it. He said, yeah, "This is Greg Adams, and we were interested in having you come over and maybe record a song with us." And I said, "What? Okay, yeah, right, click."
Yeah, Mr. X Tower Power himself calling me.
You have to know. I have friends that are jokesters, and they're prank, and they pull stuff sometimes. and I went, no, that's not it. So I went about my business. I think I was waxing my car at the time, and my cell phone went off again. You know, and I said, I put everything down, and I said, "Hello." No, don't hang up. It's me. It's Greg. Greg who? Greg Adams. It took me a minute to realize that's who I was.
Wow.
And oh, okay, yeah. So you want me to do what? come down to the studio. We want to put you on one of our tunes. You know, we were listening to your. At the time, I was working with this bass player by the name of Doug Ross, incredible musician. Since moved from California out to the East Coast, take care of his folks. But he had an album out, and I was on that album on 3 songs, and it was on his website. And that's the only reference I could give at the time because I didn't have my own at the time. And he and Greg and his wife Andrea came across those songs, and she told him the search is over. That's it. This is the one right here. Right
Wow.
here. So I said, yeah, I'd be happy to do that. And then he goes, but I have to tell you, you know, we're just, this is experimental. You know, we're gonna have 3 other singers on the project because I've been, you know, in situations where I call singers the third sex. You know, meaning that he got so much grief. You know, he tried to form East Bay Soul with Lenny Williams first. That did not work. He tried with Phil Perry, and for whatever reason, that didn't work.
That's amazing.
He came to me and said, I really need a guy that I can rely on that's going to be reliable. And, you know, I said, that's me. You know, you won't need anyone else after you hear what I'm going to do because I come from the heart. And I'm ethical in my decisions. And, you know, to just put it out there, you know, Tower of Power has come after me 2 times. And because of my affiliation with Greg and my relationship, we've become very close friends over the years. There's no way that I would turn around just to go do that against what he's done for me. You know, treat people like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, that would be a great thing, you know, but the truth is, at my age, you know, I wouldn't feel comfortable trying to be out on the road 200 plus days a year. I wouldn't feel comfortable singing that much, that hard, that often. It just doesn't make sense.
Life that way, being on the road that long.
They go through singers like crazy, and it's because it's grueling. And as much as I love that band and think they're amazing, you know, I appreciate them, and I just go on doing what I'm doing because I feel with East Bay Soul I have a home, and my friend Steve Nieves, an incredible LA or San Diego sax player who now lives in Nashville, said, this was tailor-made for you, man. He told me that after a performance one day. I went, oh. He goes, no. He goes, it just works. What you do, how you work into everything, the way he writes, and the way you guys communicate, and the way that the band works. I said, well, that's just the way it is, you know. It's incredible talent, surrounded, you know, by incredible talent. You can't help but step up.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Right.
And drums and please.
Yeah. And when you went into the studio, because I love this part, when you started, you were just warming up. Can you do the warm up that you did when you were in there before you actually started? Please, I want to hear this.
That's funny. You know, it's funny about that. Before I do that, that's funny thing about that was we were in the studio with goodness, what is this? I don't see him all the time. It's called Big Surprise Music is the name of his studio. And he was once a guitar player for Tower of Power. But he and Greg were sitting in the control area. And Greg says, yeah, we're going to get some levels on you. So just go ahead and warm up a little bit and do whatever you do. And they were talking to each other, you know, facing one another, talking. And then I started doing my thing, and they stopped. They looked in there and they were like, and then,
what are you doing?
I'm about to get to that.
Okay.
And Greg had his hand on the talkback button and didn't know it. And he said, Jesus, did you hear that? And his little eyes got like this, you know. And it's funny, and this is like I was saying earlier, I always took this for granted. I just went in there and I just did like a do, you know, something like
Oh, I'm sorry, God.
just some riff that to me is throwaway, you know. And he went, oh my God, oh God. So they started lining up the tracks, get everything ready. And on that one, I went through it on the first pass, knocked it out, and they were happy with it. It's nice to be in a good situation. That's all I can say. Really, I appreciate it.
Now that you mentioned Tower of Power, about 3 years ago, there was an accident in Oakland with a train. They had to cancel their a gig. I'm assuming that there were two members, the drummer and somebody else, that they recovered, right?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, good.
It was a sub bass player and the drummer. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, they in that part of Oakland, across from Yoshi's, that world famous,
Yoshi's right. Mm-hmm.
there's a hotel on the other side of the street. But in between, on that street, there are two directions of train travel that happen, freight. And one train passed, and they thought they were in the clear, so they walked through. Now, if the gate's down and the lights are blinking and the bell's clanging, don't walk. Don't go through there. Don't drive your car through. Don't do it.
Right.
Well, they did, and what happened was they were met with a train coming in the opposite direction, and it knocked them. And you know, the reason they survived is because going through that part of town, the trains are not moving that fast enough to catch them off guard, but not fast enough to kill them.
Thank goodness.
So they're very fortunate in that regard, but going across active rail lines is not a recommended practice.
Yeah.
So thank God it didn't get hurt, but you know that just I would wait for the gates to
I
ring.
think they had to cancel the show, right?
Yeah. What could you do? You know, no bassist and no drummer.
And it's too late to call somebody at the last minute.
At the 11th hour, because it was showtime.
Yeah.
They literally were going over with a few minutes to start. Yeah.
I remember I was horrified when I heard about it. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, it brings the worst images to mind because, you know, we see these things about people jumping on the subways or whatever, and it just doesn't end well.
Well,
But
thank you.
Garibaldi made a full recovery. Herman Matthews was subbing for him while he was in healing, you know, in convalescence.
Okay.
Because he routinely does, you know, go in and out. He rotates in and out. And he was able to step in for them at that time and cover it for him.
Well, good. What I know you played with many other artists. You want to share other collaborations and
Ooh, mercy. Oh.
we don't have that much time.
But you know what? Anyone that I've worked with, I can say I really appreciate the time that I spent with them because I always learn something from people, regardless. And I've been very fortunate to be able to work with some of the top people in the business, and to be able to do it with humility and a love for just making music. And it stays with me, and it comes through when I do my thing.
Now, before we do get run out of time, Darryl, can you tell everybody about your upcoming performances?
Absolutely. On April 23rd and 24th, I'll be at the Spaghettini Grill and Lounge, or Jazz Club is what they call it. Spaghettini Grill and Jazz Club. And Spaghettini is located in Seal Beach. And I'll be there with Greg Adams and East Bay Soul for those 2 nights. And then the Darryl Walker Band will be coming in on May 8th to do that. That's a sold-out performance, but there will be more. And we're still doing our videos and singles, and you'll see new music popping up. With this lovely one right here, she's an incredible director, producer, video editor. She's good. She's really good.
That's awesome.
So, you know, I take care of the music half, and she does the video stuff. So
yeah.
it works really well.
Very good. Very nice. Well, good.
How are you enjoying your new house?
Oh man, it's coming together. We're building a studio downstairs. The floor is down. You know, everything's up as far as walls, paint, all that. The lights are in. Now we have to put the acoustic panels up to deaden certain spaces.
Right.
Take all that reverb out. But there's a nice bamboo floor down, and we're getting all the lights and everything together for the camera gear, the video gear, for any interior shots we might do. And we have a drone now that we're going to use to take 4K video on location.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, we're doing some cool things, and
Yes.
inspired by this wonderful
We're
lady.
having fun. Sorry.
Well, LeiLani, I think we talked about it off the air, but there's something else that you haven't discussed. You told us about your music background, but what about your medical background?
Well, I've been a practicing chiropractor for almost 30 years, so I see I'm aging myself. But yeah, I have a full practice. I have 3 clinics. We do trainings, we do patients. We've branched off to this thing called the Lipo Lounge, which is all weight loss stuff, and it's been amazing. Darryl helps out too when he needs to with the machines and stuff. So yeah, it's been a great fun journey.
Wow.
What's the name of your
Girl,
clinic?
that way you can say, okay, honey, can you work?
I've got 2. I've got one called Better Health and Wellness Center. That's what we started with. And then we just branched off a few years ago to the Lipo Lounge, and that's more the weight loss stuff.
Gotcha.
Got this stuff and then weight loss.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, send that weight loss over here to me.
You gotta go over to her clinic to get you started.
This is like a hot time now because everybody's kind of over we call it the Q10, which is the quarantine 10 weight gain. They're motivated to get out there and they're over it.
I know. Right here, I have some quarantine weight I need to get rid of. It's either that or I need a whole new wardrobe.
I hear you. We're all there. That's for sure. And oh my gosh, we've been eating so differently than we typically do because of quarantine and just things closed and California's pretty strict. So.
And I have to shamelessly applaud and give kudos to her because, my previous background as an aerospace person, I was a credentialed instructor teaching airframe construction, maintenance, modification, hydraulics, pneumatic, all these things. And this lady put this incredible training manual together for her online class.
Very cool.
Wow.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's
That.
a body, what is it? Body what? Body?
Body contouring.
Contouring, yeah.
That's what I need.
Mhm.
Where do we buy this book?
This is the training manual that we do
It's
for
a training man? Oh, okay. You can't buy it. Okay.
Right.
We have to go to your clinic.
Yeah, we go to my class, right?
Is that Gino?
Yeah, hi, Gina.
I want you to meet somebody real quick.
Okay.
You're going to see some incredible things from this young man. We're working on tracks for him as well.
All right.
This is my stepson. This is Gino.
Hey, Gino.
Hi, Gino.
Hey, Gino. How you doing?
Hello.
Gino
Drummer?
is currently at UCSD in the electrical engineering program, but he's also an amazing musician.
Wow.
What's your instrument?
Go ahead.
Trumpet and bass.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Very
Yeah.
good.
Which one is your favorite?
the bass.
Still deciding.
I got,
Still working on-
whichever one gets the ladies, you know what I mean.
Get the ladies' attention, huh?
Yeah, right.
Remember I told you I forced them all to take piano, so
Uh-huh.
really ran with it. So.
Well, piano, if your children going to be in music, I tell people all the time, because that's what I wish I had done. Started with piano. Start with piano and then let them take another instrument. That's what I told my kids. I said piano and then decide what you want to do. So my daughter played oboe for a year and then she went into sports. But I didn't care. What I didn't like is, and I'm sure I don't know if you have this, Gino, when you want to pick an instrument, the band director will tell you, oh, you don't have trumpet lips. You don't have embouchure. Stuff like that. And I went, you go tell your teacher I know better.
Now, when you gonna play on one of Darryl's CDs?
Oh, he has.
Yes.
You told us earlier.
Yeah.
Check out the "Our Love Is Here to Stay" video.
Right.
Okay.
He's playing upright.
You were sleeping.
No.
That's when you were taking a nap.
Oh Lord.
Because you
I-
already
I
told us
admit
about that.
Also,
And-
Darryl, tell them about the song you're producing for him too.
Oh yeah. We're doing Gino laid down with the LA producer Christopher Choi I told you about, and Greg Adams also did a couple tracks with Gino. But he's a composer and an arranger, and he has come up with this incredible tune. What's the hook on that? Baby, can we?
All right.
Memory.
I'm already in the groove.
Okay, So just imagine a really sultry flugelhorn on top of that.
Wow.
That's we'll send it to you guys. You can put it in your picture when it's
Then
ready.
you have to come on the show
Yeah,
Of course.
and talk, and we can play for our listening audience.
definitely.
Yes. As soon as it's ready, you'll be able to interview him and do your thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And on occasion, we do have single release. We may have two artists at the same time. You know, we'll have two. So let Gris know. 'Cause
Really.
she's the boss.
Let me tell you, I'm always in touch with her. She and I have jokes.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man, let me tell you that time in the work, can we block Uru?
Okay, I have a question for you. Do you act? Have you done any acting? I think you should consider that as well.
I act a fool, that's about it.
No, Darryl, I'm not talking about acting the fool. I'm talking about acting in a, in a show.
I once wanted to get into that, but I never did. But
I think you could do it. I really do.
I'm
serious.
Knows. I'm just not one for those
Go over
endless auditions.
He's doing all right there. What he's doing right
Yeah,
now.
but I'm saying if an opportunity comes up, and it's just like that's what happened to Tower Power. They saw, hey,
I'll tell you what.
I needed somebody. See what I mean?
I had to.
See what I'm talking about? That's what I'm talking about.
Ooh, boy.
I'll tell you what.
You act.
Y'all
That's
come
the
out
full
here.
dialect.
Come on out here now, and we'll get together and do something.
I heard 4 dialects in this 2-hour show. I heard 4, so that tells me that you have talent.
Gee, don't get him started.
I know. Never a dull moment in your house. I know.
I think sure of that.
When I get to acting up, boy, they try to shut me down. Every time I get to acting up.
Yeah, whatever, Papa Smurf. You're not as funny as Darryl.
Yeah, but I enjoy me.
course
You
you do.
enjoy you.
His
I
ego
enjoy
walks in
me.
before he does, hon.
Oh, my
Trust
goodness.
me.
Oh, that's funny.
With
Well,
Darryl,
do you?
Darryl and LeiLani, we really appreciate you coming on the show today and hanging out with us
Thank you,
today.
Gary.
And
It's
Gino.
our pleasure.
And Gino.
Yeah.
A drop-in guest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You'll
we
be
and we're
seeing him
definitely.
very soon. These tracks are ready to go. We got to get him some promo going, and we'll send it to you as soon as it's ready.
Awesome,
Okay.
man. Well, we're looking forward to that. That's gonna be
Boy,
great.
it's good. I'm telling you, it's good. I'm like, ooh, that's hot.
Awesome. All right. Well, I guess it's about that time. Again, we want to thank you all for hanging out with us today, and we really enjoyed your music and you telling us about your backgrounds and stuff. It's really do
Yeah.
appreciate that.
God bless all of you, and like I say, I'm on the periphery checking you out, while you do your thing. So I'm proud of all of you, and keep it up.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. Well, we're gonna go ahead and get up out of here, and just want everybody to enjoy their weekend and join us here again next week, same place, same time. Gris is gonna inform us what we have in store for next week, and that's all I have. So I'll pass it over to the rest of the crew, and we'll take us out.
Real
Well-
quick question. There's a question in the chat room
Mhm.
from Stan Diggs. He wants to know if you have a due date for the completion of your studio.
Well, it depends. In the next couple of months, it'll be done.
Okay, there you go, Stan. In about a couple of months, hopefully it'll be done.
We can track now, track vocals and horn now, but to have an actual working space downstairs, it's going to take a couple more months.
Is this Stan Diggs, the former NFL
Yeah.
player? Okay.
I don't know. It's Stan Diggs. I don't know.
No, Stan Diggs. I think it's the same person.
Well, he
Let me
mentioned you. He mentioned you, Joyce, in a comment.
He did? Okay, so yeah, I know Stan Diggs. He lives, I think, in San Diego.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
Welcome, Stan. I'm glad you're here. Okay, Mac, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, me too.
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, you said, I'm sorry. I said, well, me too.
Well,
Well, Darryl, it's been a pleasure having you on the show, and LeiLani and Gino. And waiting to hear your recording, Gino, and waiting to hear you play that upright bass.
Oh
That's
yeah.
what I'm waiting to hear.
On this track, he's doing 5-string or 6.
6-string.
6-string electric, and he's playing the flugelhorn too.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Yeah, that'll work. Well, only thing I have to say is see you later. Bye.
All right. Take care, guys.
And I just want to tell you, you guys have such a beautiful family. LeiLani, Gino, and Darryl, all that talent, that is so amazing. I'm looking forward to seeing some amazing things coming from you guys. I enjoyed my sax sister. Love, love my sax sisters. Looking forward to seeing you, Gino, in the future, bringing your music to the show. All right, Gris.
Well, guys, thank you. Thank you for being here. I so enjoyed having this today. Thank you. I needed this today.
You're very welcome. Thank
It was
you.
a lot of fun.
Yes, it was a lot of fun. Gino, like I said, send your music once it's done, that track, so we can get you on the show. LeiLani, I sent you a friend request. I was just waiting for you to accept, because I was wanting to highlight and tag you, but I can't tag you right now.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'll look at that.
All right.
I just
So, guys,
ignore social media, but okay, I will, for sure.
all right. Well, thank you again for joining us, and I appreciate that you took the time out, because I know how busy people, especially on Saturdays, can get.
Yes.
So and Darryl, did you want to tell the people real quick where they can get you music?
Right now, a lot of my stuff is available on moth99.com, MOTH 99.com. And also, you can get it from all the other typical, Amazon, iTunes, all that.
Awesome.
Check out the website, new video content on the website, DarrylFwalker.com. And we see you soon.
Awesome.
Right.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. As far as next week, I'm waiting to hear confirmation from an artist that I reached out to. I'm just waiting to hear back from her, and we'll let you know during the week once the promos are done that Gary so awesomely does.
Yeah,
So,
that was a nice flyer. I like that.
Oh yeah, that's all him. All I do is just a little text when I post it. I post a little bit of a background for you guys, and that's it. But he does the poster. So, and I just like, wow, he does an awesome job every week. So,
Thanks, Chris.
Yep.
Appreciate that.
hey, I can't do that. I don't have that talent. So, I'm more, not worthy kind of thing.
And all this technology is Gary too, by the way.
Yes, that's all him. That's all him. But anyway, guys, have a great weekend. Be safe out there.
All right.
And we'll see you next week. Please join us, and we'll let you know for sure if this artist comes through. See you later. Ciao.
Okay, everybody. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.
Ciao.
When a man